Hi, welcome back to English 110 Online. We're taking a look at the job application process continued from last week. We're still in Chapter 8, so the reading assignment will be the same. And I have even included the slideshow from last week's assignment if you want to review that and look at that again. So no new reading assignment this week. No, and the Google slide presentation is the same as for last week. But we're going to do two more exercises regarding looking for a job. So if we go to week 9 graded assignments, our first course assignment, I've already pulled it up here, so I'll just go to that. Here's English 110 coursework assignment, part 1, resumes. Find an actual advertisement for a job opening in the field for which you did the first part of your career research. That was what we did this past week. It doesn't have to be the exact job title, something similar. And you can use one of the websites that the text mentioned, this Best Jobs USA Job Hunt. If you want to use the same job that you already found for last week and that you posted on the Padlet, you can use that same job. If you rather use another one, you can use another one. But you're going to create a document in which you paste the job advertisement. So if you're going to use the same one that you did for Padlet last week, you're going to take that same job and paste it into your document. And then underneath that, you're going to note what the job advertisement asks for in an applicant and list those qualifications in a bulleted list in your document. So the first part, you'll have the job ad itself. And then I've given you an example of what it would look like with the bulleted items below. So after that, I was looking at one that I had used, but it must have a high level of English proficiency, obtained a university degree, or currently enrolled in university programs, digital literacy, comfortable using computer programs and applications, outgoing personality, consistent passion in class, ability to attract attention and teach engaging lessons. A minimum of 10 classes, 5 hours, is required, and a maximum of 36 lessons or 18 hours is available per week. So those are the things that I need to have in order to apply for this job, and so I made that bulleted list. You'll do the same thing for your job that you found. Put those requirements or qualifications to get that job in your document. Then after you do those two things, you insert a page break and create a resume that illustrates that you have the qualifications for the job. So you'll have to make up the information. If you actually have the information or have some of those qualifications, that would be great. You could use the truth, but you want to make your resume match the qualifications for the job. You're not expected to find a job that you're currently qualified for this exercise, but you will need to be able to understand what is needed and make sure that your resume that you create shows that you have what is needed. So you're going to have to fib a little bit on that. For instance, if I were looking for a job as a doctor and I was still just a medical student, then I would have to, if it asked for my licensure or something like that, I would have to create that. I would have to make it up. But anyway, whatever you know that they need, this bulleted list here in your document, then make sure that your resume shows that you have those things. Then you're going to keep all of that in one document, the job ad, the qualifications necessary, and then your resume showing that you have those things and you are qualified for the job. And then you'll submit your document on the Turnitin link provided on the Moodle page. Now I have made a sample resume for you to look at. It's on the next page of this document right here. A couple of things to point out about a resume. You can use a template if you want to, but if you use a template, make sure you end up filling in all the information that the template asks for, or getting rid of those prompts where it asks you. So in other words, if it asks you for certain skills and you don't want to put the skills there, then get rid of the heading that says skills. So it's easier to me to just create your own resume as you go. You want to make your name here. Here I have my name a little larger and bolder than the contact information. So I put, this is my contact information, my mailing address, my telephone number, and my email. But my name is bolder and larger than this font. I did use a smaller font in italics for this, but that's a style choice. You make it look the way that you want it to look. And then I have my headings for the different types of information I'm going to put in here. So I put my experience at Nash Community College from August 1999 to the present as an English professor. Design, and this is what I did on the job, these bulleted items. So be sure you put what you actually do at the job. Employers look more for what you did at the job rather than where you worked and for how long you worked. Although being an employee here, full-time employee here since 1999 is also very good to know. But they want to know what I did here. So design, update, and implement courses, teach face-to-face and online composition courses, advise students were the duties that I perform here. My education, I put my education on there. You want to start with your last degree. So my master's at East Carolina goes first, and then my undergraduate degree, my Bachelor of Arts, goes second. You don't have to put your high school if you have college, but if you want to show that you're that you're familiar with a certain area, a certain town, you could put your high school on there if that's important. Usually if they see your college degrees, they don't want you to go back and put high school information. Skills, I put proficient in Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint, proficient in Google Docs and Google Slides, proficient in Moodle Classroom Management System, over 20 years in the teaching profession, proficient in using computer applications to enhance online learning, and honors and rewards. I have the NISOD Excellence Award, and I have been awarded a professorship here. And so that's my resume, and it just hits the highlights. And this is what you want to make sure that yours does. Make sure it's correctly typed. A resume should not be full of paragraphs and sentences. Everything should be short. These bulleted items, these proficiencies that I have, they're not complete sentences. I didn't write anything in a paragraph. You want the resume to be something quick and easy to look at and just hit the high points of what makes you, the whole point of the resume is to sell yourself as being qualified for the job. This assignment will be graded using the usual method: 20% format, 20% organization, 20% content, 20% grammar, 20% mechanics. And try to make this as perfect as you possibly can, because this is your document that is the essence of who you are. Okay, let's look back at the other assignment. We have two graded assignments this time. One is to do that, find that job ad, put a list of qualifications, what you need to get that job, and then write a resume that shows that you have those things to get that job. The other assignment here, haven't opened that one yet. Let's open that one and wait for it to open up here. Just a second, it's gonna open. There we go. All right, so the second part of your resume's assignment is to find an actual advertisement for a job opening in a field for which you currently qualify. Okay, so the other assignment, you did not have to qualify for that job. You could make up things to go for the job. The sample resume that I created had the truth in it. I would actually be qualified to get that job as an online English teacher. But I could have picked one that I wasn't qualified for and just made up that information. In this one, I want you to find a job in a field for which you are currently qualified to do. So find a job where you do meet all the qualifications of the job. Again, you can look for things on this using these live links here in the document. These are ones that I got from the book. Or if you can find something in a a newspaper, an ad on a bulletin board on campus, or from some other source. You want to be able to make a copy of that, though, so you can put it in your document. So you're going to create a new document for this. You're going to paste the job advertisement in there, or if you took a picture of it from a bulletin board or whatever, you would paste your JPEG that you saved that picture of. And you're going to note what the job advertisement asks for in an applicant and list those qualifications as a bulleted list. And again, it'll be just like what you did in the other assignment, except this time, this is a job you actually already have all the qualifications for. And then in the same document, list your qualifications for the job, like your education, your experience, your skills, insert a page break, and then write an application letter applying for the job. If you want to see an example of an application letter, go back to page 129 in your text. Make sure you cover all your education, experience, and skills in the letter. So you're not writing a resume this time. You're writing a business letter to the person who would be accepting applicants for the job. And then you would write that letter. Then insert another page break and write a follow-up letter pretending that you got the interview with the person who could hire you for the job. And you can see an example of a follow-up letter on page 142 in your text. Now, these are business letters. They have a return address, inside address, salutation or greeting, dear Mr. Jones, colon, and then the paragraphs of your letter, and then a complimentary closing, sincerely yours, and space to sign your name, and then your name typed. And if you want to sign it by using a different computer font to actually make it look like a signature, you can do that also. Otherwise, just leave it blank so that there's room to sign it. And then once you have all of that done, you save that document, and that's the one you'll submit on the Turnitin link. Now, just to rehash what this is asking for, it's asking you to find a job ad for something that you are qualified to do right now, something you wouldn't have to make up qualifications for. These are things you're already ready to do. So you're going to paste that in a document. Then you're going to put a bulleted list of what it takes to get that job, the qualifications needed for that job. Then you're going to, after you get that information in there, you're going to put a page break so that it'll go to a fresh piece of paper or a fresh page in your document. And then you're going to write a business letter to the person who would be accepting the applications for the job. If it doesn't give a person's name, you can make that up. And then, dear Mr. Jones, and all of your qualifications in there, covering your education, your experience, your skills that you would put on a resume, but this time you're going to spell it out in a letter. So write it in paragraphs. Then you're going to put another page break and you're going to write a letter pretending that you've already had a successful interview with the person that you wrote the letter to applying for the job. And now you're going to